Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome everybody to the project of Total Quality Management CPHQ Diploma, sponsored by our dear supervisor, Dr. Mohammad Elsheikh. I'd like to introduce our project, inshallah, which is Advanced Quality Improvement in ER Triaging for Stroke Patients in King Khaled Hospital, Alkharj, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Excellent topic.
Thank you, sir. By Ms. Lamis Mohsen Ahmed Salama, dialysis nursing supervisor, and by me. And special thanks to Ms. Lena, Ms. Rima, and Dr. Iman. They contributed us with ideas in the initial phases of the meeting.
Welcome, Dr. Mohammed. Welcome, Ms. Lamis. Thank you for your effort. And I have good news for you that Sibahi Accreditation are working now on a special edition for standards for stroke units. So I think this project will be so helpful for you.
Yes.
And I hope that you become specialized in quality accreditation and preparation for accreditation or reaccreditation of stroke units, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for this good news. I will start first by condolences to Dr. Mohammad Elsheikh. Inshallah, hope Allah Azza wa Jal may help you with blessing and peace, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Our project outline, we'll start talking about the focus pedic approach. Dr. Ms. Lamis will continue from the RCA and FEMIA, and in the end, the 7 basic quality tools will be made in summary.
Okay.
I will give just an idea first about stroke impact in order to know what we are dealing with. In USA, which is supposed to be the most developed, there is 1 death in every 6 deaths due to stroke. It's the 5th leading cause of death. Every 40 seconds, there is a stroke. Every 4 minutes, 1 dies of stroke. About 750,000 people have a stroke. Most of them are ischemic, and 1/4 of them are preventable. The patient had previous stroke. So early action is important for stroke. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you. These are the criteria which are made for early action. They are made by the National Institute of Neurological Disorder and Stroke, NINDIS criteria, and they are guidelines in the United States for management stroke patient. Time from door of the ER to the doctor assessment, 10 minutes. Time from the door to CT scan should be 25 minutes. Time from the door to CT reporting is 45 minutes. Time from door to drug, which is a thrombolytic, is 60 minutes, and time from door to monitoring in the ICU is 3 hours. So respecting the time window period is very important. This curve is a scatter diagram which shows the relation between the mortality rate and the months after admission according to the door to needle time. For example, if the door to needle time is less than 45 minutes, as you see here, the mortality rate gets lower. While in the other spectrum, if more than 60 minutes, the mortality rates gets higher. So this is a definite curve which is, shows that door to needle time, if it is shorter, it will save life. And here is another study.
Okay, so this scatter diagram denotes the proportional relation between the time and the rate of death.
Yes,
right?
And it proves the statement that early action is important to limit mortality. The second,
we want to deal on the perfect way of showing scatter diagram. In each scatter diagram, when we will discuss it, we should clarify the 2 variables and the result of the relation between them. Okay?
Okay.
As you made.
Okay.
Thank you. Next.
Next, this is another study made in Singapore, which tried to use the emergency medical services, which we outline later, to improve the door to needle time. As you see here in the histogram, which is showed in the light blue color, this is the door to needle time after application of emergency medical services according to the guidelines. And the red bars show if there is no emergency medical service applied. As you see here, when we go to the left side, there is a left skewing of the histogram, meaning that applying of emergency medical services in the proper way will lessen the door to needle time. So this is very important, and we wanted to replicate this finding in our local hospital in Kharj. Next, or you have any comment, Dr. Mohammed?
No, excellent.
Thank you. So we'll start by focus medical approach. Number one, we'll start by the F. We'll find a process to improve.
As you know, Dr. Muhammad, focus medical is a mandatory requirement for any SIBAHI accreditation or re-accreditation. At least one focus BDCA. So I think it will be very beneficial to you, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. And for coincidence, they asked me for stroke health quality this presentation without knowing that I am taking total quality management diploma, subhanallah. So it was a very good, I made this presentation for both days. So we'll first start with the problem statement. There is a delay in the door-to-needed treatment time for stroke patients presented to King Khaled Hospital, Alkharj, leading to increased morbidity and mortality in stroke patients. The current time on the average I will see now is the control chart is average 2 hours. According to the guidelines we have seen, they should be 1 hour. If we see here, this is a door to treatment time in King Khaled Hospital within minutes. This is the upper control limit. It should be 60 minutes as we agreed, and the lower control limit is 30 minutes because studies shown that less than 30 minutes does not add any benefit in mortality or morbidity. So these are our control limits. Of course, you see the performance of the hospital is outside of the curve totally. It's 1.4 minutes, 104 minutes instead of 60 minutes. So this is a critical alarm.
Excellent, and this is the first step for improvement to see where is your operation, and this is the most important value of control chart, to put upper control limit and lower control limit and measure where your operations are within the upper or lower control limit. So your vision to this image is very beneficial for getting solutions. Excellent.
Thank you. I have broken down the 5 steps we have discussed earlier in the guidelines. Door to ER treatment, they should be 10 minutes. In our hospital, 15.2 minutes. In door to CT treatment, they are 25 minutes. And I used the mean values, of course. During the last 6 months, they were 34.1 minutes. In door to reporting, there was some improvement because I controlled this element a little bit. And when I started taking the CPHQ diploma with you, Dr. Muhammad, from December, late December, I started to apply it in my work in the part I'm responsible for. So as you see here, door to reporting, I try to reach the gold standard, but the limits, the points outside of my reach for the ER doctor, by the nursing, the ER, door to drug is the biggest big gap, as you see here, 209 minutes instead of 60 minutes. And let me clarify what is the reason for that. The reason for that is that للأسف يعني there is our hospital should be a tertiary care hospital, but there should be a stroke unit policy, there should be thrombolytic policy, but what happens is that there is no integration for stroke management, and consequently patients who have need thrombolytic, they are referred to Riyadh, and they take 45 minutes for referral, and of course this 45 minutes for referral is responsible for this big number. My target from this project is, inshallah, to enhance the thrombolytic therapy inside the hospital I'm working with.
Excellent aim. Excellent, and this will save hundreds of lives.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
And as you know, as Allah said, ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. إن شاء الله لما يكون في فرد واحد إن شاء الله حضرتك تكون سبب في إنقاذ حياته، يكون كل ميزان حسناتك حتى من بعدك للناس اللي اشتغلوا في المستشفى إن شاء الله.
اللهم آمين. Thank you. I will proceed further to clarify. The second step is organization of the team. I made it in the army approach. This was suggested skeleton from the CMO as a prover. The neurology head of departments, radiology, ER, ICU, nursing supervisor, lab, pharmacy. I even included the porter, because the porter who is transferring the patient from the ER to the CT should have some knowledge to some extent in how to transport a stroke patient, how to respect the time window period. Any special comments, Dr. Mohammed?
Excellent.
Thank you.
Go on.
This is the flow chart. I tried to put some element of SciBook and the flow chart in the same slide, and there is a special slide for SciBook. But here, as you see here, this blue part is the job of ER doctor. Stroke patient presents to the ER. There is ER evaluation, and I made it diagonal because this will have two pathways. If not stroke, I refer accordingly. If this is stroke, this documentation, this electronic documentation, I will order CT. Then laboratory investigation ordering, these are electronic documentation. Then lab sampling, then the nurse will transfer the patient. The technician of the CT will perform the imaging. Then the patient will be returned to the ER. Then the patient will have CT reporting and decision together with the neurologist and radiologist, and accordingly, the patient will be transferred to ICU to through thrombolytic. And when he receives thrombolytic, the ICU admission will be made as an electronic operation, and then the final, the closure or the closing end of the flow chart is the drug therapy and monitoring. Below, I can show you the time periods I have clarified earlier. And as you see here, there is a significant delay, especially in the drug therapy and monitoring.
Excellent. I have simple comment that at first I think with this method you are making a matrix flow diagram. If you remember, we said we have three types of flow diagram or flow charts. A high level, which is the main highlights, then a detailed, which contains the details, then matrix flow diagram, in which you are, as you are making ER doctor, which steps, ER nurse, which steps, radiology, which steps, and so on. I have only two important comments. The first, that you the start and the end should be more obvious than that. Why it's not obvious? Because the space between stroke patient presentation to ER and the ER evaluation, the space between them is very narrow, so the arrow is not apparent. So we want to make simple distance between them to show the direction of the arrow between the start to it. Then about the three gray lines from CT imaging, I don't understand them. From CT imaging to CT reporting and decision, I have 1, 2, 3 gray lines.
Yes.
I don't understand them. What are this?
Yes, I want to clarify it. The nurses will transfer the patient for CT. Then the technician will perform the CT. Then this CT will have a report and a decision, which will be electronically made through the online communication of the hospital. Then the patient will be transferred back to the ER. Because the arrows here are very narrow, and I will try to correct it. As you can see here, CT transfer goes to CT imaging, and then transfer back to the ER, and then the arrow should become from here to the CT reporting and decision. And then the arrow goes back from the CT reporting to ICU transfer, and then from ICU to ICU admission and drug therapy. I made this chart first in the Excel, then I tried to transfer it to the PowerPoint, so some errors happened during this transfer. I will try to fix this and make the
yes, the problem that you have to make a simple edit on these gray arrows, as their directions are not apparent at all. Okay, so we want to fix it as much as possible, and you can make it vertical instead of horizontal. Take your space, take your time to make it very well. Only make the arrows direction will in all sites. Yani, for example, from ER evaluation to stroke symptom and signs, the arrow is not clear too. I think the transfer from Excel to PowerPoint may make some problems. You can scan it and make it
Yes,
copy
yes.
paste as a photo, not as a
Okay,
not paste as it is. Okay.
okay.
Then the last step is drug therapy and monitoring, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We need an arrow
Mhm.
between ICU admission
And
to
therapy. Mm.
drug therapy and monitoring. It's
Uh-huh.
very important in control chart showing to show the start and the end very clear.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Great effort. Next.
Thank you, thank you. This is a cyborg approach. I hope I have addressed it well. If you have any comments, Dr. Muhammad, I have just one
Okay.
question
Clear. Clear.
about
Very easy.
the hidden customer. Can we have a hidden customer here in the stroke project or not?
For sure,
Mhm.
you are dealing with some ambulance men in
Mhm.
transfer of patients from hospital to hospital,
Mhm.
and regulators of audit from MOH or from other quality regulators. All of these are hidden customers.
Okay, thank you. Uh,
Okay.
then, yes, this is a spaghetti approach. Of course, this is not the spaghetti classic I saw in the while searching. I just tried
Okay.
to clarify the issue discussed before in the flow chart. This is the ER, the nurses send the patient to the CT, and then they return him back to the CT again. And there is an electronic record communication happens here between the CT and the ER. And then there is a physical movement of the patient to the ICU in the second floor. There is a physical movement of the samples to the lab, and there is a physical movement of the nurse here from the ICU to the pharmacy and back to the ICU. The pharmacy, lab, and ER and CT are in the same floor, first floor, and CT is near to the CT, but the ICU is distant in the second floor, and there is an elevator which transfers the patient. So there are electronic steps and there are physical steps. I made the physical steps in black color, and I made the electronic steps in yellow and red color. Um,
Okay, after you made the spaghetti diagram, what's your conclusion and what's your advice? As you know, we make a spaghetti diagram to discover if there is rework or redo or waste in time or effort, and we give after lean thinking suggestions for eliminating of this waste. Did you find any waste?
yes, I found the first waste in the ICU. There is a big distance from the ER to the ICU. I wanted to suggest and the solution in the RCA later on to make a special ICU for the stroke patient near to the ER. This is the first thing. The second thing, I need fast tracking for the lab samples and the for pharmacy. For example, the thrombolytic, if there is a special ICU here, the thrombolytic will be available here, and there will be a special lab here. So there's no need for the nurses to go that distance to the lab. This all my just preliminary suggestions. But of course, if you have any further
Excellent.
comments, this will help. Thank you.
Excellent. As you know, in lean thinking, we are trying to make as much as possible costless suggestions. As you
Mm.
know, lean, as it's thinking about decreasing waste in time and effort, also in money
Yes.
and cost. So we are trying in lean thinking as much as possible to make costless or very low cost suggestions to save time, effort, and money. So if this suggestion is applicable with low cost, it's very welcomed.
Okay.
But if it will cost a lot, it's
Mm.
not favorable. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Next.
This slide shows the previous operation as a gold standard, and I've explained it before. I just want to show something here called Vocera. Miss Lena have discussed this Vocera, which is like a voice call to the members working in the stroke team. I will explain this later in the RCA, inshallah. In
But
the
please,
upper
about the last slide, what is this last slide?
this last slide, this should be the typical scenario for the stroke alert. This is just an introduction to stroke alert, which is an electronic device called the Vocera. Miss Lena told me they use it in Emirates for sepsis activation.
Okay, okay, but when we want to put it in the project,
Mhm.
we should put it in quality tools terms. So it's better to represent it within flowchart with its symbols.
Okay, okay, okay.
So if you represent it within our quality flowchart symbols, I think it will be more beneficial and more professional.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Next, this is the understanding the root cause of the brainstorming. We have here four things. Number one, I will start with the policy. The stroke policy in the hospital is out of date. It was made about 5 to 7 years ago, and it needs updating. And this problem makes people not aware of the stroke management and the stroke politic management in the hospital. And the total quality department is weak, has weak point for neurology, because before I came, I was the first neurologist to have a contract within the hospital. Before that, the doctors were locum. So when I was the first doctor to contract with 5 years ago, there was no stroke policy. We tried to make a stroke policy, and I was not familiar with the quality terms and quality management, so I couldn't help in that much. But now I have now total quality management knowledge. I'm trying now to have this energy to cooperate with the quality department. So the first
Excellent.
thing I outlined here is the stroke policy. Number two, the people. The ER doctor has lack of training in the stroke patients and the importance of early time saving and the quick neurological examination. He should be trained. The neurologist here, we have shortage. We have only 4 neurologists in the hospital. So we need the recruitment of more doctors. The nurses, there is lack of training as well in the ER. They should learn, because the most tasks are on the shoulders of nurse. Lab sampling, sending the patient to the CT, to the ICU. So they should be trained. They should have task assignment to avoid overtasking because of the multiple duties we show in the spaghetti diagram. The technicians also, they should be trained to respect the window period and to be alerted once there is a stroke patient, to take the mission seriously, not busy with other patients. They should be dedicated for the stroke patient once he arrives. And the porters as well, they should be trained about the importance of transferring the patient and the care of transferring the patient in a way that does not cause harm to the patient or injury, and at the same time saves the time. The plant itself, the CT, sometimes there is occasional sluggish networking, and we need to improve this in the IT. In the lab, there is physical distance that have shown, and we need fast tracking, both for the lab and the pharmacy. The ICU as well, we may need neurocritical ICU, or even we can make a special room in the shock room for the ER, special for the stroke patient, without making building any facilities and costing much money. We just may specify a bed in the ER for this ICU patient. Just 1 second, I'm sorry. And Vocera, sorry, it's Vocera. The I should not be present here. We don't have Vocera, which I said it's like a blip or a phone system specific only for stroke patient. Once it is working, it will notify each one of these members in the each in its own pager that there is a patient in the ER. We should work on that, and we don't have Vocera. And one of the suggested solutions is to provide this Vocera machine. The last thing about the process, there is a sluggish ER evaluation, as I mentioned here, and this should be solved by training. The electronic recording, there are many things to be recorded, lab, CT. There should be fast tracking. There should be one bundle in the system. When I click it with one button, I will order the lab, I will order the CT without making many steps and that specific time. For the CT reporting, who should report the CT, the neurologist or the radiologist? There is no policy in the hospital for that, so there should be standard notification system. The transfers, there are 1, 2, 3 transfers. These transfers can be eliminated if there is fast tracking, as I have shown before. And for Sobritic, of course, we have transfer patients of Riyadh because of lack of policy, delay from pharmacy, medical legal issues. Most patients we deal with, their culture are from as we say, rural culture somehow. So they are not oriented in stroke at all, and the thrombolytic, and this creates medical legal problems and make consultants afraid of to give thrombolytic. This is very important. And there is defective ICU preparation for the patient. So these are the root causes shown here in the slide. Dr. Muhammad, you have any special comment here?
Yes, I have two comments. The first comment that why did you take 4 fish bones only? We want at least 6.
6, okay.
Yes,
So,
so we have to add another 2. As you know, the classic shape of it, 3 above and 3 below to
okay.
finish the 6 main fish bones of the fishbone diagram. Okay. The second thing is, from your opinion, after fishbone diagramming, what is the most important cause for the problem?
The most important cause is lack of training. This is number one. Yeah, there is lack
Yes.
of orientation, lack of education, and this is very simple, preventable issue. We have all facilities to treat stroke patient in the hospital without referring them for thrombolytic. So if just orientation education is a cost-effective solution, and
Yes.
this,
So the most important part is the part of people.
yes, yes, part of
Yes.
people, yes. And
Okay. Next.
this is the same slide for but here I removed the problems and I mentioned only the solutions. So this is
Yes.
solution generation. We make stroke policy updating. We will train the ER doctors, the nurse, the technicians, the porters. We will call the HR for neurological recruitment. We will make a clarified nurse task assignment. In the city, we will try to improve networking, fast tracking as prescribed, provision of new critical ICU, Vocera, fast recording for electronic recording in one bundle, standardizing notification for CT report, whether by neurologists or by radiologists. They should be made clear cut in the policy for stroke.
Creative presentation of the solutions in a new good manner. Excellent.
Thank you.
Next.
Next, I made grouped the solutions in terms of colors according to the easiest to the hardest. The easiest is
Yes.
training in stroke management and thrombotic therapy, then the policy, then the electronic communication by fast tracking related orders and notification for the CT report, then the physical communication with nurse task assignment, with physical fast tracking for the lab, pharmacy, ICU, provision of the sera, then neurological recruitment because it takes time and money, and provision of new critical ICU because it takes time and money as well for the infrastructure. This is the table I made for brainstorming with Dr. Lamis and Miss Lena and some of my colleagues in the hospital as well. The major impact I have noticed here was on the training arm. The total was 25, followed by the policy, then the electronic recording, physical communication as well had the same share with training, and I should have put it above, beside with training. Then the list is the things that need more money, neurological equipment and provision of critical ICU. So as it appears here from this table, the solution is relatively easy. It's just a matter of training,
Excellent.
policy writing, and just improving physical distancing, which is not a heroic solution.
Excellent impact prioritization matrix. Thank you for your efforts within it.
Thank you. This is Pareto diagram made from this previous table. And as you can
Yes.
see here, training and policy followed by physical communication are the most important to address, and can solve 80% of the hospital troubles and constitute 20% of the solutions. I
Okay.
have made them clear in a specific table plan for change. I made it in the Gantt design. I started by the policy first. We should make stroke policy updating and stroke unit development in the policy. The person in charge should start by CMO, his care quality professional, neurology ahead of the department, all the disciplines involved in the patient care. I made the estimate cost about $200. It should be start from first of the new year. Of course, these dates will be modified because the meeting will be postponed to the next week. Followed by the training. It will start after we make the policy within 4 days. I made an average 4 days for making this policy. And the training will need mannequins and will need some physical stuff. It will cost about $900. And the lastly, for the fast tracking, for making a shock room besides the ER and all that stuff for physical communication and provide for the Fusera, this will all cost about $22,000, including all these points, and it will start after training of the staff.
Okay.
Okay. This is many stakeholder matrix. Actually, I wanted your help, Dr. Mohammed. Dr. Iman explained this table to us. When we start to apply a solution, we start by this column first, which is the easy and the most needed solution, followed by the difficult but the most needed solution. And then there is here the easy but unnecessary solution, and there is a difficult and unnecessary solution. So is this the way to do the change for the plan D, or what should be the slide for that?
Yes, but why did you left that two lower boxes empty?
Because I didn't find any solution. I suggested that it belongs to these not needed solutions. يعني.
Okay, remove them. And
Okay.
both number one, I'll do stroke policy updating. Number two, physical fast tracking, for example.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
This is
Next.
the tally table for as a proposed checklist for improvement. Of course, this is a provisional table. This is not an actual table. We didn't make anything in
Excellent.
the
And
draft.
this is, by the way, one of the 7 basic quality tools. And by now, you already used yeah, a lot of tools from the 7 basic quality tools, like fishbone diagram and control chart and Pareto and tally. So this is very excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. I expect, of course, is that doors to drug delay incidents and OVRs will be the most common, followed by door to bed delay incidents. And this is just a provisional. I will compare it, inshallah, with the actual table. And of course, it will hold again and redo. This is also proposed. These are future steps, not implemented. Now I will leave the mic for Ms. Lamis to present the RCA and FINI approach, inshallah.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Welcome, Ms. Lamis.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
أهلا يا دكتور. مع حضرتك لميس محسن، نيرسينج داياليسيس سوبرفايزر بحضرتك. هنتكلم على الروت كوز اناليسيس. روت كوز اناليسيس اول حاجه طبعا النوتيفاي، ديفاين انترفيو. هنتكلم على كل ان شاء الله واحده فيهم باذن الله. اول حاجه نوتيفاي في البروسيس we should notify if any delay happen. طبعا ده هيكون عن طريق ال OVR او الريبورت. تاني حاجة بالنسبة لنا اللي هي هتبقى ال define، إن هنعمل define the problem، يعني this the delay، how to happen this one and where. بعد كده الانترفيو طبعا هنعمل انترفيو separated مع الستاف related للانسيدنت اللي حصلت. في النيورولوجي دكتور مع الراديولوجي دكتور، الاي ار دكتور، الاي سي يو والنيرسينج ستاف related to the incident، واللاب ستاف والفارماسي ستاف. بعد كده يليهم البروسيس اناليسز. هنبتدي زي ما هو معروض هنا قدام حضرتك البروسيس، تحليل ليها وبدأت ازاي ومشت ازاي. فهنا عندي الستروك بيشنت come to ER وفي evaluation from the ER doctor، في ال CT ordering واللاب ordering، وفي يليها طبعا اللاب sample و CT transfer، CT imaging، return the patient to ER for waiting the CT reporting. في بعد الديسيجن التريتمنت ديسيجن في الاي سي يو ترانسفير والاي سي يو ادميشن يليها الدراج ثيرابي اند مونيتورنج. في هنا التشينجينج اناليسيز. التشينجينج اناليسيز بالنسبه لاول حاجه هو patient coming to ER. هنا الفيسيرا كحل طبعا للديلي اللي بيحصل، هتبقى الكوميونيكيشن اسهل والتواصل ما بين الستاف. فده حل المقترح ان شاء الله يكون فعال. بالنسبة هنا للجزء الثاني في الحل اللي هو ان احنا نتبع البوليسي، عشان كده should be طبعا ان احنا نعمل updating للبوليسي ونعمل training للستاف كمان ويبقوا oriented بيها. بالنسبة للديلينج اللي بيحصل في السيتي ايميجينج والريبورتنج والديسيجن، لازم يكون فيهم فاست تراك ويكون في جود كوميونيكيشن يسهل ان احنا نعرف الديسيجن بطريقة اسرع واسهل. مقترح طبعا هنا دكتور محمد كان اقترح ان يكون التايمر موجود بحيث ان هو يدي الارم لكل ستاف ان هو يتبع، يعني يحاول يكون يعني واخد باله من التايمر ويتبع الخطوات بطريقة اسرع شوية.
I
بعد
have a
كده
simple comment on the last slide that try in slidology not to write red on black background. As you see, it will be not clear for reading. Okay, then I said when we redo the flow chart, we want to differentiate between the original past steps and the newly improved steps. So we want to in the modified flowchart to use two colors only. The first color, for example here, the blue for the past already present flowchart, and the newly improved steps take another new color to differentiate the past from the new modifications for improvement. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Just 1 second.
next إن شاء الله
Just 1 second.
البارير اناليسيس طبعا هنوضح فيها ان شاء الله ازاي نقدر نمنع الديلي اللي بيحصل عن طريق طبعا البوليسي، ان احنا نعملها ابديتنج ونحاول نعمل اورينتيشن للستاف ليها عشان يتبعوها وتريننج للستاف، ونحسن طبعا الكوميونيكيشن بينهم ونشوف النتوركينج والكوميونيكيشن بين الستاف. النتوركينج بالنسبه للالكترونيك كوميونيكيشن، بالنسبه لنيرولوجي ستاف افيلابيلتي، واخر بارير هي نيورو كريتيكال اي سي يو. ده بالنسبه للبارير. هنا اسكواي طبعا علشان يعني نتابعها، نشوف بقى المشكله جت منين، الديلي اللي حصل دوت، هل الستاف في محتاج تريننج، يعني الاي ار دكتور او نيورولوجيست
Yes,
مثلا
you can skip it as
في
Dr. Mohammed
شورتج
discussed
مثلا.
it. Yes, yes. Okay.
لايك واي كان الدكتور ميس اقترحته، يعني واحد من الحاجات دول يعني. اتفضلي ميس.
Yes, it's better to enumerate it. Write the numbers of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to denote that they are the 5 whys. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
هنا بعد اسك واي هنشوف الاكشن اللي احنا هنعمله، وطبعا الاكشن اللي احنا هنعمله هنا ان احنا هنتبع الحاجات اللي هنحسنها زي البوليسي تريننج والفيزيكال كوميونيكيشن. الريبورت طبعا في حال ان ما تمش تنفيذ الاكشنز اللي اتحطت او حاجه منها طبعا ما تمش تنفيذها، هنعمل OVR او ريبورت عشان نشوف المشكله وبعد كده نعمل ايفالويت. زي ما حضرتك شايف في التشيك شارت.
Excellent.
بالنسبة للفيميا، الفيميا السكوب فيها إن إحنا نقلل الديلي in the door to treatment time for stroke patient presenting to King Khaled Hospital. بالنسبة للتيم، التيم طبعا اللي هو CMO approver وريسورس.
Okay, I see it. Next. Bring the table.
التيبل هنا الريتنج في البروسيس ستيب CT reporting decision والاي سي يو ترانسفير مانجمنت والاي ار ايفالويشن والسي تي ايميجينج. الفيلير مود في السي تي ريبورتنج ان في ديلي في السي تي انفورميشن والديسيجن. الافكتيف فيلير ليها طبعا لوس تشانس اوف ثرومبلايسيس، والسيفيريتي هنا اديناها طبعا 8. الكوز اوف فيلير طبعا ليك اوف ابديت بوليسي، الاكيورنس بتاعتها 7. الكنترول الكرنت كنترول بوليسي ابديتنج، الديتكشن 5. البي ار ام لها 280.
I want to ask you about CT imaging detection. You give it 1. What is the meaning of this? This means the detection of CT imaging is good or not good?
CT imaging في الديتكشن؟
Yes.
لا يعني ويل ديتكتنج، يعني نقدر ان احنا نكتشفها. هي عكس يعني علاقة طردية يعني.
Excellent. After you made FEMIA, what did you discover? What are the most dangerous and threatening risk factors for failure?
CT reporting and decision.
Excellent. Then ICU transfer and management, right?
Then this one, inshallah.
Excellent. Thank you for reordering them according to risk priority. I advised the last group presentation that the best method to show FEMIA, as you do here, is to make ordering of them the most dangerous, then the less, then the less, then the less. Excellent. Next.
Next ال7 quality tools. وما شاء الله احنا يعني البروجكت احنا نفذنا فيه كل ال7 تقريبا تولز. نفذنا فيه الفلو تشارت والهيستوجرام، الفيش بون والتشيك شيت والكنترول شارت والباريتو. فالحمد لله ان احنا يعني كده وفيناهم كلهم.
Very, very, very excellent project. Well deserved full mark. Thank you so much for this important, vital project that we hope it will save hundreds of lives, inshallah. Thank you so much for your great efforts as this project, and we hope to see it already implemented in the hospital, inshallah.
I hope.
Thank you so much for your effort. Thank you.
Thank you. My biggest
دكتور محمد عبد الهادي.
لا والله يعني I biggest thank you to Dr. Mohammed. ما شاء الله يعني without you سبحان الله I wouldn't have done any of this. Thank you really يعني ما شاء الله جزاك الله كل خير. يعني
thank you Dr. Mohammed. Yeah, I want to hear now your after finishing the total quality management diploma and the preparation for CPHQ, and you already have made